I've just wrapped up week 6, and we got to talk about some football. And I think there's one guy who wants my head, so let's start there. And it's going to be Team Livin' La Vida Yoda, the most risky done chain I've done all season. And the other two are looking great. Team Livin' La Vida Yoda starting to make me think otherwise as he beats Vinny Figs, who falls to 3-3. So two little surprising turnaround stories here. With Team Livin' La Vida Yoda being the one that's probably like dancing in my face, being like, I told you so, I told you so. I didn't foresee Rico Dowdle doing what he's doing, okay? So kudos to you for getting him. I'm still going to done chain you. When Chuba comes back, Dowdle's going to be back to maybe, at most 60% usage, at most, if he's the guy. Watch him be RB1 rest of the season. No, but I still think that this team, I mean, look, Stafford 10 points, Kenneth Walker 4 points, Xavier Worthy 10 points, Keenan Allen 5 points. The rest of your team, obviously Cam also Scatterboo. Listen, you've done a great job mid-season managing this team. Congrats. Actually, though, congrats. You're doing a great job. Very impressive. I still don't think you're going to win it all, but hey, you gave yourself a shot. You're probably the best managed team mid-season up to this point. I'd say preseason I'm going to stick with, and after even week 2, stick with this being one of the worst teams. The fact you're able to add Cam, Rico, listen, you're figuring it out. You're definitely figuring it out. I still don't think either of those guys are going to be league winners, but let's see. I'm going to keep the done chain on. I'm not removing it. Vinny Figs, I'm still high on you, my guy. Listen, 135, it's not a horrible week. Bijan had a great week, so good for him. Calvin Ridley's injury, obviously horrible luck for you. Devontae Adams, you'd think would have a bigger game given Puka's injury. I would think maybe next week he's in for a massive week, but you do have to maybe cut the cord with guys like Tony Pollard. When you see Rashee Rice coming back, there's a spot that's going to have to open up, and I think it might be Tony Pollard. But we'll see what you go with. It might actually, I guess it's going to be Calvin Ridley too, so I guess you have 2 spots. Titans offense, not really the one you want to be invested in right now, but I think Vinny Figs at 3-3 still has a better outlook than Livin' La Vida Yoda at 3-3. But we'll see. So now I know what you're thinking. Oh, does that mean his done chains aren't worth anything anymore? Was he wrong about everything? No. Straight knockout puts up a measly 110 and loses, goes to 2-4. It looks like that done chain is alive and well. Diggs went back to not being as productive. Shaheed 6 points. Jerry Jeudy 8 points. When you're in a 3 wide receiver league and all 3 wide receivers get single digits, you know that you're in trouble. And this is what my issue with Team Straight Knockout was. That's why I done chained him, and that's what you're seeing. Whereas Bandito is going to 6-0. Listen, did I see Banditos doing all of this? I kind of did. I gave him 2nd overall preseason. 6-0 is incredible, obviously. Kudos to you. JSN has been a total league winner. 35 points. You're going to have to figure out what to do with Garrett Wilson definitely out and Njoku maybe out. So I guess that's the TBD. But you're going to be getting Jordan Mason back. You got Pittman still waiting behind. So, I don't know, maybe Jaylen Warren could also fit back in. I'd say wide receivers where you need the most help for sure. But given you had Debo in the flex, you're going to be able to figure that out as well. I think Banditos at 6-0 isn't necessarily a situation where it's oh, this guy's going to win the league. But I think it's obviously a front runner at this point. So that's one done chain that was right. And then Team the Chairman, another team that I done chained, actually didn't lose this week. Goes to 1-5. I'm going to stick with also in this situation saying I stick by the done chain. Listen, Chairman was a team that I put high up preseason. Just hasn't really been able to deliver. And even this week, 128 isn't beating most teams. But fortunately for you, you get McConkey 26, Brian Thomas 21. 2 disappointing guys, both performing really well this week, leaving you just above the surface enough to beat a team in Dust in the Wind that really just did not show up. An 0-5 team beating a 5-0 team, you don't see that too often. But for Dust in the Wind, outside of a great game from Josh Jacobs, you get 2 from Sutton, 5 from Dobbins, 6 from Zay, 3 from Egbuka, who got hurt. You have to assume if Egbuka didn't get hurt, you do lose this game if you're Team the Chairman. So things just worked out for you. So kudos again. You got to win. Still done chain for sure. And Dust in the Wind, I wouldn't hit the panic button at all just yet. I think you're fine. Just one loss. You could manage that emotionally, I think. Electric gets the win to go to 3-3 over El Plague. Both these teams really could have used the win going 2-3 into this game. El Professor renames his team after a disappointing performance. That was a very reactive decision. A risky start with Sterling Shepard. Didn't hate it going into it. Didn't really work out for you, though. And it doesn't really matter. You got absolutely blown out. 89 points. Just brutal in every sense of the word. The only good news here is Genti's continuing to look like he's productive for fantasy. His usage is awesome. And that's really the only solid takeaway you could really take from this week. Again, CD's coming back soon. Pearsall's coming back soon. QJ's coming back soon. This team's going to look a lot different. But at 2-4, you're going to need them to look different very quickly. Electric, you were the story this week. 200 points. I'm sure you're doing a little bit of a victory lap. You go from, is he going to be a playoff team, to is this a potential contender? Drake May, awesome. And I think he's going to be really good the rest of the season. Obviously not to this degree, but really, really solid. Achane, 37 points. Drake London, 34 points. George Pickens, 35 points. How often are you going to see 4 30-plus guys on one team? Very, 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 very impressive. Obviously, a good week for a Rome off week because you didn't need him. A good week for a Saquon off week because you didn't need him. Lamar will be back. I don't know what you're going to do at quarterback. Whoever you're not using, are you going to trade him? Or are you going to use that as security given Lamar's injury? It's a little bit sensitive. We'll see. But either way, it looks like this is a legit team in Team Electric land. And then the final matchup, El Grenas falls to Team Chef Cesaro. Team Chef Cesaro was a team I predicted to be a fairly solid team this week. I put 4th in their preseason rankings. This was one of the ones I really wanted to turn the season around. And still looking at the roster, I believe he can. Tet is really becoming that guy. Jamar Chase has his great week with Flacco that you want to see. Dak Prescott continues to be just super, super, super strong. And Golden has his first week that he really emerges. So I wonder if Team Chef Cesaro still has some life in him. I think he does. But of course, you're going to need to string together some wins consecutively. El Grenas, what can you say? The only guy who really performed for you is the guy that's not going to be on your team for much longer, Rachaad White, when Bucky comes back. But I do think Bucky's going to be out through the bye, and you have Bucky. So we're not stressing about that. You still have that RB1 slot secured. I would say you have the wide receiver 1 slot secured, but obviously Puka has been that injury really hurts his team. So whereas you had a Justin Jefferson Puka combo with either Teagan or Jameson Williams as your third, one of the strongest wide receiver groups in the league, it takes a pretty significant hit, at least for the next couple weeks. Maybe Puka's only out a week. We'll see what happens. But ultimately, El Grenas, I still think is a very strong team that's just dealing with some unfortunate situations, having to go without Justin Jefferson on bye this weekend, a Puka injury, to next week, no Puka. You're not going to see the full El Grenas team until later down the stretch, so you got to find a way to string together a couple wins. Maybe if you win one of the next 2, I'm going to still feel good about this team. Just can't drop a few straight here. And of course, Justin Fields is not the answer at quarterback, is really the scenario, the summary here. So let's see how everyone does. I realized that there could have been another trade, so let me just see if there was before I go and resolve this. There was not. Okay, good. So with all that being said, I love you guys. Best of luck next week, and we will talk then.